What's a good pass? So, like, the range of passes that you had in terms of bigger distances, playing fast passes on the floor, switching play.
I'd say the most effective pass at that time, which could be a little 3-yard pass forwards when all the pressure's coming from one way and you're tight in a certain area, and it's a 3-yard pass just to beat that player or 2 players or 3 players, and you 3-4 yard pass and you beat the press, and then you might not see the pass or you might not be able to play the pass, but it's a difficult one to do, but you do it, and then all of a sudden you're breaking away on the counter attack, or it could be a pass where you're setting someone on goal, a through ball. But it depends on that situation. What's the most effective pass? How can you affect the game positively? That given split second, I'd probably say that's what makes a good pass. I think having the picture of what will hurt them the most, so being effective, but having in the back of your mind of that's going to hurt the opposition the most, that pass at this given split second. So having the vision to do it, having the understanding of why you're doing it, and obviously actual executing it, if it's a pressured one and you shouldn't really play it, but you see the risk and the reward in it, and then you play it, that's obviously mental toughness, if you like, but you still need the skill to do it. So that you're talking about 4, 5, 6 things there in one little, could be a 3-yard pass at the end of the day. Maybe it's one that looks quite easy at the time, but given the surroundings and the intensity of that game at that certain point, especially in midfield, so it could be a little risky 3-4 yard pass, but if you're willing to play it and you see the rewards for doing it and it comes off, then it's quite satisfying.
It's almost a bit of as you're describing, like some parts to it, isn't there?
Loads of parts to it.
You need to have the context of the game, you need to have the picture, you need to understand yourself, you need to understand your teammate.
The execution of the pass is probably the easiest bit a lot of the time. It's understanding what goes into it, preparing for it, body position, understanding the pressure, context of the game. Is it 90th minute and you're 4-0 up, so you play a pass over the top? Wouldn't normally play, but it comes off. It's a good pass, but it's an easier one to make in the first 5 minutes when it's frantic and you might be on the edge of your own box and you've got to play a little 4-yard pass around the corner just to release some pressure, and if you lose it, they could score. It's like it's not a hard pass to make, but in that given situation, you might not see the pass because you haven't got a clear mind, you've got no clarity in your thinking. So it's judging every pass differently in that respect. But probably the execution. If you said to someone, "There's the ball there, and you've got to make that pass," anyone who can kind of play football could probably make that pass, but it's at that given time, pulling it off, seeing it, understanding why you're doing it and pulling it off is the special ingredients probably to actually the execution of it.
Just paint a bit of a picture. You get the ball from a centre-back, able to sort of turn with the ball at your feet, facing forwards.
That's probably when I'm talking about the preparation for it, preparing for a pass. If you're in a position, the pass comes. If you're in the best position and you give yourself the best chance of seeing the pass and making the pass, then you wouldn't necessarily say that's part of the pass. A lot of people might not say that's part of the pass because they just see the pass, but it's what's gone into it before that to put yourself in the position to pull off at an angle, be side on, do it early enough so then you get your touch right, so then you're looking forward rather than being closed off and having someone behind you so that pass is never on. So you're talking a few seconds before the pass is even, or you've even got the ball. A few seconds before that, you're preparing for the pass. So it's not just the pass. That's why I think the easiest bit is once you're in the position and you've seen it in the whole thing, just to pass that 10 yards or 20 yards, it's the simplest bit.
And then the actual execution bit, in terms of speed of pass, the type of pass, it's like the technique, or why you play with the inside of your foot, or why would you drill it up, or what's that based on?
For whoever was receiving it, to make it as easy as possible for them. So if I'm bouncing one in, it's because I've really got to bounce one in, or it's because I've made a bad pass. And I'd realise that if I made a bad pass, that I shouldn't have bounced that, or sometimes you're just really smashing it into the front and it's a risk pass and you know you've got to do it and it might bounce up, but it gets there and you kind of think, oh, I'll take that one. But if it's a it's call it pass appreciation, don't, but you really appreciate that pass, what it's doing, the pace of it, no bounces. Ultimately, if you're passing it to someone, you're passing it to them for them to do something with it instantly. And if they've got to take a touch and another touch to get hold of the ball because it's not in a great position, then it's not a great pass. If they can do something exactly as you see it instantly, then it's a good pass. And you're sometimes passing it in a way on an angle because you know the next pass what it should be. So you're dictating to the first teammate to pass to the second teammate because you've seen that picture already. So the weight and the angle and the kind of pass that you're given takes control of the next bit as well. It's not just finished once it's got your foot or once it's touched your teammate. It's a great pass if the next part is then how you see it in your head.